Every single week, people move to Atlanta from out of state, and most of them make the exact same mistake. They pick the wrong area. Not because they're careless, but because they rely on Google, Zillow, and a weekend visit instead of local insight. And after 10 years helping families relocate to North Atlanta, I can tell you the #1 mistake people make when moving here, and it costs them tens of thousands of dollars. So in this video, I'm going to break it down. The biggest relocation mistake out-of-state buyers make. The 5 North Atlanta areas you should think twice about if you're not local. And the single biggest mistake most out-of-state buyers make when choosing a realtor and how to avoid it. I've helped buyers from Los Angeles, New York City, New Jersey, and beyond relocate to this market, and the ones who run into problems are almost never the ones who pick the wrong zip code. They're the ones who assume the suburbs were broadly similar to each other. That assumption has cost some of them 6 figures. Before we start the list, I want to be clear about something. None of the areas I'm about to talk to you about are bad places to live. They all have genuine appeal. What they are is a potential mismatch between what out-of-state buyers expect and what these areas actually deliver. Now, with all that in mind, let's get into the 5 North Atlanta areas I'd think twice about if you're moving here from out of state. We'll start with number 5 on the list, and that is Roswell in North Fulton County. And let me be upfront with you, Roswell is genuinely one of the most appealing suburbs in North Atlanta. It has a beautiful historic downtown, the Chattahoochee River running along its southern edge, mature tree-lined neighborhoods, and a social scene that a lot of newer suburbs just do not have yet. If you search best Atlanta suburbs, Roswell is coming up on every list. So why is it on this list at all? Here is the issue. The median sales price in Roswell came in at $645,000 as of February 2026, up 4.9% year over year. That price point carries an expectation. Buyers coming from markets where $645,000 buys a recently built, contemporary finish home are going to be surprised. A significant portion of Roswell's housing stock is older. Character? Absolutely. Original oak floors, established trees, neighborhood feel that took 30 years to develop, but buyers who arrive expecting new construction finishes at that price are consistently disappointed. The renovation reality is also something most out-of-state buyers do not factor in. A home with older mechanicals, an aging roof, or a kitchen from 2005 can carry a $60,000 to $100,000 plus repair and update budget on top of the purchase price. I could tell you this as a fact, even within my own house, even at a lower price point. My home was built in 1993, and I knew about some of the things that I had to get into, but when I bought it, oh my goodness, I was in for a surprise. There's also a school district nuance here that matters. Roswell falls within the Fulton County school system. North Fulton County schools, particularly the areas feeding into Milton High School and Cambridge High School, are highly regarded. But that rating does not apply uniformly across all of Roswell. And for buyers who do not know that going in, discovering it after the offer is a problem. Who is Roswell a great fit for? Buyers who specifically want that historic neighborhood character, a vibrant downtown walkable to restaurants and community events, and who go in with a realistic budget for a home that may need updating. My take on Roswell, it is one of my favorite areas in North Atlanta, but I would never let a client buy there without running their actual address through the school zone lookup and doing a serious renovation cost estimate on any older home they love. So that is area number 5, and for the right buyer, Roswell is honestly one of the best long-term purchases in North Atlanta. But the next area on this list is where I see a very different kind of mistake play out, and it catches out-of-state buyers all the time because the price looks so right. Area number 4 is Lawrenceville, Georgia, the seat of Gwinnett County. I want you to think about this for a second. You are searching for a home in North Atlanta. You look at the data, median home prices around $385,000 in Lawrenceville, compared to $645,000 in Roswell or $712,000 in Alpharetta. There is new development downtown with the South Lawn project, a major new hospital tower from Northside Hospital Gwinnett, economic growth that has total assessed value in the city that is up 70% in the past 5 years. On paper, this looks like an area with momentum and real value. And for certain buyers, that assessment is completely right. But here's what most out-of-state buyers do not understand about Lawrenceville and the surrounding area. Gwinnett County Public Schools is one of the largest districts in the United States. 182,518 students across 141 schools. School Digger ranks it 67th out of 206 Georgia school districts. For a buyer relocating from New Jersey or California and expecting that a solid district rating means consistency across every school, that variability is a genuine surprise. And by the time they discover it, they have already made their offer. Who is Lawrenceville a great fit for? Buyers who do their homework on the specific school zone before they search. Investors looking at price-to-rent dynamics in Gwinnett. Buyers who specifically want entry-level pricing in the $350,000 to $450,000 range and are not primarily driven by school zone ranking. So my take, the price in Lawrenceville is genuinely attractive. But I always tell buyers, do not look at the district average and assume. Run your specific address, check the great schools rating for the school you are actually zoned for. In a district this large, it matters a lot. Now, every buyer's situation is completely different, and when you're relocating from out of state, you're making a decision about a metro you may have visited once, if at all. The school zone questions, the county-by-county tax differences, the commute reality from each part of the metro. It is a lot to track, especially from a distance. So I put together a free Atlanta relocation guide that maps all of this out clearly for you. It covers the key suburbs, how they compare on schools and commute, what the realistic trade-offs look like at different budget levels, and what you need to know before you start looking. If you're thinking about making a move to Atlanta, you can grab it for free at the link in the description. And honestly, if you're doing any research right now, this guide will save you a lot of time and confusion. And now on to Area 3. Area 3 is Dacula, Georgia, in eastern Gwinnett County. And let me start with the numbers that gets Dacula onto a lot of out-of-state buyers' short lists. The median sales price was around $423,000 as of September 2025 in a North Atlanta market where Alpharetta is at $712,000 and Swanee is well above $500,000. That price looks really attractive. And you get newer construction, more square footage for the money, and a suburban feel with some space. So what's the catch? The issue with Dacula is not the area itself. The issue is infrastructure lag, and it catches buyers who visit on a Sunday morning completely off guard. Eastern Gwinnett County has been one of the fastest growing corridors in the entire Atlanta metro. New construction communities have been going up rapidly, but roads, services, and infrastructure do not grow at the same pace as housing. That Saturday morning drive through Dacula, when the traffic is light and the new neighborhood looks great, tells you almost nothing about what the Tuesday morning commute looks like. Dacula sits on the eastern edge of the Gwinnett County Growth Corridor, the major North Atlanta employment centers, the tech corridor running through Alpharetta, Johns Creek, and Peachtree Corners, the I-85 commercial corridor through Duluth and Norcross are on the western and northern sides of the metro. From Dacula, you are adding meaningful time to almost every commute to those areas. In I-85 southbound, which is the main artery connecting Gwinnett to Atlanta, typically peaks between 6:30 a.m. and 9 a.m. with significant congestion. From eastern Gwinnett, you are sitting at the back end of the queue. There is also a wildfire risk consideration that most out-of-state buyers do not know to look for. Repton flags that 92% of Dacula properties have some risk of wildfire over the next 30 years. For buyers coming from the Northeast or the Midwest, where this is not a factor, they have never thought about it, it is worth a conversation about what that means for insurance premiums. Who is Dacula genuinely a great fit for? Remote workers who do not commute daily. Buyers who specifically want newer construction at a lower price point and are comfortable with a longer drive on the days they do need to be in the office. Value-focused buyers who want more home for their money and do not need to be in a first-ring suburb. So my take, Dacula is not a problem if you understand what you are buying. It is a problem if you buy it expecting a short commute to the North Side Tech Corridor. Map your commute at 7:30 a.m. on a Tuesday, not a Saturday. That one set will tell you everything you need to know. And here's where it starts to get really interesting, because the next two areas on this list are ones that a lot of people would actually tell you are the best in North Atlanta. And for certain buyers, they are absolutely right. But for out-of-state buyers, without the right information, they could be a very expensive mistake. Area 2 is Buford, Georgia. And this one has one of the most important geographic facts in all of North Atlanta real estate. Buford sits on the Gwinnett-Hall County line right near Lake Lanier in the Mall of Georgia. The area is genuinely appealing. Great access to outdoor recreation, newer communities, strong retail, and median sales prices that have been rising. Redfin shows Buford's median sales price up 13.3% year over year as of March 2026, landing at $565,000. But here's the thing that most out-of-state buyers completely miss when they search for homes in Buford. There are 2 school districts serving the Buford area: the Buford City School System, which covers properties inside the Buford city limits, and Gwinnett County Public Schools, which covers everything outside those city limits. And here is why this matters so much. A property inside Buford city limits with a Buford City Schools address is taxed at a dramatically lower total millage rate than a property just outside city limits in Gwinnett County Public Schools. JVM Lending's detailed 2025 Gwinnett millage analysis confirms this directly, because Buford City Schools replaced the Gwinnett County school millage. The total tax burden for a property inside city limits is meaningfully different from a Gwinnett address. And Buford City Schools, which serves that smaller footprint, is one of the most consistently competitive school systems in the Atlanta metro. 2 homes on Buford streets that look identical on Zillow can be in completely different school districts and carry completely different annual tax bills. I have personally walked buyers through properties where the street addresses look similar, but the school district boundary runs right between them. So who is Buford a fantastic fit for? Buyers who specifically verify that their parcel falls inside Buford city limits, who want Lake Lanier access, and who understand the school district distinction before making an offer. For that buyer, Buford delivers in a way very few Gwinnett locations can. My take? Buford is one of the most misunderstood markets on this list. The opportunity is real, but the first question I ask any buyer who wants to look there is, have you confirmed which school district that specific address is in? Not the zip code, not the city name, the specific parcel. Do that first, and Buford becomes a very different conversation. And that brings us to number 1. This is the area I get asked about the most by every single out-of-state buyer I work with. And every single time I end up having the same conversation. That area number 1 is Alpharetta, Georgia. My number 1 area that out-of-state buyers need to approach with the most clear-eyed thinking is Alpharetta. And I know what you're thinking. Alpharetta? That's supposed to be one of the best suburbs in the country. Tech corridor, Avalon, award-winning schools. And you're right, all of that is true. So what is the problem? So let me show you exactly how this plays out in real life, because I have lived this personally with clients. Earlier this year, I worked with a buyer competing on an Alpharetta home near Milton. We ended up offering $30,000 over asking at $705,000. The inspection came back with significant repair needs. The seller would not budge. My client terminated. That experience told us everything we needed to know about the market. The pressure to compete is real. The prices are high and the margin for error is tight. Now take that same budget, say $700,000 to $750,000, and put it in the context of what that actually buys you in Alpharetta right now. Redfin shows Alpharetta's median sales price at $712,000 as of January 2026. At that price level, you are competing with an active new construction pipeline. As of this year, there are 185 new construction homes for sale in Alpharetta alone. Builders are offering incentives, rate buydowns, design credits. Here is why that matters for resale buyers. When builders are selling new homes of the same price point as the resale market, they create a ceiling on appreciation. A buyer who paid $710,000 for a resale in 2024 may find 18 months later that the builder down the road is still selling at $715,000 with brand new finishes, builder incentives, and a warranty. That resale buyer cannot compete on any of those dimensions, and that is exactly the scenario I walked one of my clients through. I showed them an Alpharetta home at $949,000 versus a Swanee home at $810,000 in the Lambert High School zone. The Alpharetta home had cramped rooms No island in the kitchen, limited outdoor space, and homes close together. The Swanee home had a master on main, a frameless shower, a 3-car garage, a cul-de-sac lot, and a larger backyard for $140,000 less. That is not a knock on Alpharetta. It is data reality about what your dollar actually buys when you are competing in a market with active builder inventory at the same price point. Who is Alpharetta a genuinely great fit for? Buyers who specifically want the Avalon or downtown Alpharetta walkable lifestyle. Buyers at the higher end of the price range, above $900,000 to $1 million, where the builder competition thins out significantly. Buyers who are choosing Alpharetta for a specific lifestyle reason, not just because it was the first suburb that came up on Zillow. My take, Alpharetta is not a mistake if you go in knowing exactly what you are buying and why it is worth the premium for your specific situation. It is a mistake when buyers assume that spending more automatically means getting more space, more lot, or more appreciation. In this market, it does not always work that way. So now you know the 5 North Atlanta areas I would think carefully about if you're moving here from out of state. But here's the thing. Even if you avoid every single one of those areas, you can still make a mistake that costs you far more than any bad area choice you could ever do. And I see it happen all the time. It is the #1 mistake out-of-state buyers make, and almost nobody talks about it. So the #1 mistake, using realtors not specialized in relocation. Over the past 10 years, I have helped hundreds of families relocate to the North Atlanta metro. I reached the top 10 out of 5,300 agents at Virtual Properties Realty, my brokerage, at the last awards ceremony in March. And I run this YouTube channel, which has become my primary source of inbound clients. 18 closed deals from just last year alone. And after working through dozens of relocation moves every year, one pattern shows up more consistently than anything else. The buyers who get it wrong are almost never the ones who picked the wrong area. They're the ones who worked with the agent who did not specialize in relocation. So here's why this matters so much in North Atlanta specifically. The metro spans multiple counties: Gwinnett County, North Fulton, South Forsyth, Hall, and so on. Each county has a different property tax rate, a different school district structure, and a different appreciation story. A generalist agent who primarily works with local move-up buyers in a single suburb does not need to know any of that specifically. Their clients grew up here. They already know which district they want to be in. Locals are different from the out-of-state people. They already know the difference between Gwinnett County Public Schools and Beaufort City Schools and Forsyth County Schools. You do not have that knowledge yet, and if your agent does not proactively fill that gap, you are making one of the biggest financial decisions of your life based on a Zillow listing and a Saturday morning visit. So here's what I have seen go wrong in practice. I had a buyer reach out, for example, who had worked with a generalist agent and was looking at Beaufort. The agent never flagged the school district boundary question. The buyer made an offer on a home that assumed was in Beaufort City Schools, and it was not. It was in Gwinnett County's public schools, same zip code, completely different school system, and a higher total tax bill. Another client came to me after working with a non-specialist agent on a home in a fast-growing Gwinnett suburb. 18 months later, the builder was still selling comparable homes at the same price point. My client had paid market rate, and their equity had essentially not moved. The builder competition, which I would have flagged before the offer, was never discussed. So what should you look for when choosing a relocation specialist? First, ask them specifically how many out-of-state relocation buyers they worked with in the past 12 months. Not investors, not local buyers, talking about out-of-state relocators. Specialists will have a real answer. Secondly, ask them to walk you through the difference between buying in Gwinnett County versus South Forsyth County, school performance, property tax, and commute. A specialist can do this without looking it up. Third, ask if they have relocation-specific process, not a generic buyer consultation, but a framework built specifically for buyers who are not local. I have spent 10 years building exactly that process. I'm also part Korean and my wife is full Korean, so we can help provide that service to you as well. In fact, I lived in South Korea for 5 years and I worked with buyers from LA, New York, New Jersey, and beyond at every price point from $450,000 to well over $1 million. And my goal is to make sure you understand this market the way a local does before you sign anything. If you're thinking about making a move to Atlanta in the next few months, you can reach out to me directly at 770-906-0748. Or if you want to pick a time that works for you, book a free call with me at the link in the description, calendly.com/Tim Trevathan Homes. Based on where you're coming from, what you need from schools, commute, and lifestyle, we'll figure out exactly which part of this metro makes the most sense for you. So now you know where to be careful. If you want a free copy of my Atlanta relocation guide that maps all of this out clearly, grab it at the link in the description and then come back and watch this next video where I show you how to match the right suburb to your exact situation.